So happy New Year. It's the 6th of January and I'm back from holidays and it's time to go straight into a masterclass. And so thank you so much for joining me. So good, so good. So I'm going to share what the lesson is of Mystery School for this week. And as you know, there's all the other recordings of many masterclasses, and we just keep on adding. So starting the new year, starting off today being the 6th of January, number 6 in sacred geometry is all about expressing yourself. And January is about express yourself. Who are you going to let see you? And aligned with that is the lesson. Ask yourself, not asking anyone else. It's always about ask yourself. When we ask other people, what happens is it affects our eye chakras because we look outside for other people's opinions, approvals, and everything else. So if you ask yourself, now whether you call it your higher self, your innate self, your giggly self, whatever self it is, ask here within you, in 20 years, will this matter? In 20 years, will this matter? Now, this is really important for things that we do right at this moment. But I'm going to start with the 3D paradigm. In 20 years, will it matter that the kids didn't pick up their toys, or your partner didn't close the toothpaste lid, or that you weren't losing 20 kilos in that week? Does it really matter in 20 years? Quite often in the 3D paradigm, we focus on the things that really don't matter. In my book, Secret Codes to Success, I talk about, there's a chapter on what meaning do we give it, whatever it is, what meaning do we give it? Because it's up to us on what meaning we give anything whatsoever. It's our point of view, our perception, our reality. And then the 3D paradigm, sometimes this thing, does it really matter? Are you going to hold on to it? Are we going to make it a grudge, which is held in general brain and medical intuition? And are we going to keep us stuck in pain, in hurt, in isolation, this thing, whatever the thing is? Now, the thing is usually at this moment in 3D paradigm. 3D paradigm is related to the solar plexus. It's about confidence, about learning struggles, about evolution, transformation, emotions, those things that we have in 3D world. And this thing, will it matter in 20 years? Well, for some people it will. And that's where we go to ovaries and testicles, because the body doesn't know whether we're male or female, that we pickle the story, we take it, and we're still holding that grudge. It's very hard and heavy to hold that grudge, but it's still carried 20 years later. This thing still matters. Because on my 12th birthday, you didn't say, or you did. If we connect to it right now and express it right now and go, you know what, when you did that on my birthday, or you didn't do, or you did whatever the thing is, if we do it right now, in 20 years, it won't matter. If we allow ourselves to actually acknowledge the hurt, pain, isolation, say, oh, yeah, it did. Maybe you like to use some of the tools that you know, whether it's a healing modality, journaling, going for a walk, meditating, ice bath, sarin therapy, crystal healing, massage, whatever it is, all those delicious things that we've got out there in the world to help you alleviate the pain. But first you've got to acknowledge it. Then that thing won't matter in 20 years. Now let's go to the first dimensional awareness. In 20 years, will this matter? So years and years ago, and I've forgotten the gentleman's name that started Clean Up Australia Day, somebody will know what it is, that if I drop a litter on the ground, piece of plastic, bottle, it will matter in 20 years because it won't break down and a turtle might eat it and choke and die and whatever. We have that awareness that things like rubbish will matter in 20 years. Things such as because there's so much information about health as your wealth, that what do we do for our health when we're younger? Make sure we eat a great diet. And when I say diet, I mean eating regime. We eat a great diet, we exercise, we have water. In 20 years, we won't have the diseases or disharmonies in our body. So we have that awareness. But what about the awareness of our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, what we're doing for ourselves, just general? In 20 years, will this matter? So this also aligns with some people align January as the beginning of the year. Those that know me, I don't. I align it with the millennium calendar, and the first year is actually winter, and it's July for me. So if this is the beginning of the year and you have New Year's resolutions, which I don't do either, that if I do this, if I don't do this, will it matter in 20 years? So a lot of people in January go, right, this year I'm going to lose weight. This year I'm going to write a book. This year I'm going to get a partner. This year I'm going to leave a partner. This year I'm going to travel. This year I'm going to. I want you to journey down in 20 years. We're going to do a healing process this morning. You're going to journey down in 20 years and see what it's like in the moment. So whilst I'm talking, just think of something now that you think, you know what, I've always wanted to do or have. And then we're going to go into 20 years. Does it matter what came up? So if we ask ourselves in 20 years, and it could be in 10, 5, 30, 50,000 years, whatever you like, I'm just using the number 20. In 20 years, will this matter? First, 3D paradigm. This argument, will it matter? Now, whilst you're just contemplating something that we can go down a timeline to, will it matter at 20 years? We've had this crazy, crazy repeat pattern. Oh, don't know why thumbs up, that's AI. Crazy repeat pattern in wars in the world of that's my country. No, that's my country. No, that's my country. No, that's my country. Or things such as he said, she said, she said, he said, he said, she said. In many cultures, in many countries, in many family groups, holding these grudges that don't even relate to us. I remember when I was nursing, it was at the old repatriation hospital in Brisbane. And I felt really honoured being there because I would nurse the World War One, Two, and Vietnam soldiers. It was lovely to be able to hear their stories and what they're going through and just their outlook on life because of what they'd gone through. I remember one particular patient who was a bit of a stirrer, liked to push the buttons, but I didn't mind because I used to like to push the buttons back as well. And I walked in and he said, "Hey, nursey." I said, "I don't like the word nursey." And I said, "Did you want me?" And I'd always call them by their names. "Yes, Mr. Blocks." Unless they said, "Call me George." "Yes, Mr. Blocks, can I help you?" He had this grudge and he wanted everyone to know about the grudge. And the grudge was he was forced into going to war. He was conscripted and he didn't want to be. I knew instantly that he was in pain, that it was not his choice on a 3D paradigm world. But what he did along the way was he wanted to inflict the pain for other people, but he didn't mean that. What he was trying to do was to be hurt that he was in pain. And as he started to talk, he said, "Nursey, you owe me. I went to war for you." Now, mind you, I was really quite young when I was nursing there. And I said, "No, you didn't go for war for me. You went to war because you were either volunteered or conscripted." "No, I went to war for you." And this is way longer than 20 years after the war. He didn't like that. All the other nurses were too frightened to say something to him. And I said, "Let's have a chat. I'm going to make your bed. Do you want to go for a shower first, or do you want to sit on the side of your bed? I'm going to make your bed and freshen it all up and fluff up your pillows for you, and then take your temperature and blood pressure." He was insistent on, you need to be thankful to me because I went to war to you. I said, what happened at the war? And I found out the story. In 20 years, will it matter? It mattered to him. He was young, naive. He had goals and visions for what he wanted to do. And yet, in this naivety, when he went to war, he saw some horrific things. He made friends and watched them die. And in 20 years, that did matter to him because he never dealt with the pain. Back then, they didn't have the psychology or mental health that we do now. And so it did matter. So I asked that each shift that I worked, could I please look after his room? He had 3 other men in the room as well. So, you know what? I'm going to win this guy over. I want him to feel supported. So that in 20 years, maybe it didn't matter anymore. What mattered that was he was heard right now. So quite often when we hold grudges in countries, in families, in cultures, in religions, it matters because we were never heard at the beginning. And part of mystery school was to understand and learn, wait, I'm going to be right in the moment and feel the feels, but we didn't speak it the way, we spoke it in a different way. What are we feeling? What's going on for us? Express it, connect with it, acknowledge it, and you acknowledge it. Sometimes it's about us acknowledging it, not them. When we acknowledge it, there's like a ripple effect that things start to change outside and then come back to us. Because in 20 years, do you still want to hold the grudge, pain, hurt, isolation, separation of that thing? Or even right now, is there a thing that happened? And it's about you honoring yourself in those feelings. So let's go back. Is there a something that you thought, right, 2025 is the year to get it done? Because 2025 is the year of done, up to complete and done. Is there a thing that you want done? And I'm going to invite you, whether you're walking, sitting, lying in bed with a cup of tea, on camera off, watching live replay. You can have your eyes open or closed, or just go with the flow of think of something right now that might matter to you, that you either want to create, you want to make happen, you want done, you want finished and complete. And in that space, just notice the sensations in your body. Notice where they are. Let's talk about why it matters now, just to yourself. Why does it matter right now? I'm going to use the example, 2 examples that I know are very popular. One is weight loss, and 2 is writing a book, because a lot of people want to write a book. So let's go to weight loss. It really matters now that I want to lose weight, and in 20 years, I don't want to be fat and frumpy and old and whatever the story is. It matters right now because I can't move properly, or I can't exercise, or the clothes don't fit me. So therefore, it will matter in 20 years. I don't want to feel that way as well. Or I want to write a book. It really matters to me. I want to write a book about tweedle beetles and how to make scarves for giraffes or something like that. Because in 20 years' time, I want to speak about it and write courses about how to make scarves for giraffes and speak around the world about scarves for giraffes. If it matters right now, why not deal with it right now? And this is where you could have a goal book. Write out the goals of what you want to do. If it's scarves for giraffes, do you need a pattern for the scarf? Do you have a pattern? Color wool? Who are you going to sell it to? What sort of giraffes will you have? Will you go to Africa to see the giraffes? Will you go to places like Australia, to the zoos and things, talk to them about the giraffes? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to gift it? this matters to you. Check in with yourself. Ask yourself, why does it matter? Maybe it matters, scarves for giraffes, because you're really tall. And when you were growing up, you didn't have a long enough scarf for you. And you were always called giraffe as a kid. And that really upsets you. So it matters because it will help you alleviate a pain and connect with your passion and connect with your why. Why do you want this? Okay, now you've got the thing. We're going to take a journey. So again, you can close your eyes, have your eyes open, journal, whatever you want to do, keep walking, keep driving. And you're going to take that thing that matters right now, and on the count of three, you're going to come out of your body. I'm going to take you on a journey. So 1, 2, and 3. Lifting gently out of your body. And then we're going to scoot down a super amazing travel into the future. And it's now 20 years down the track. That thing you've got, the thing you want, the thing you want to create, that thing, does it matter? What do you want? Have you got it? What does it feel like to have? Or if it's a pain, a hurt, it's 20 years down the track and you don't have it anymore, because does it matter anymore, that hurt or pain? I want you just to notice in 20 years down the track, if you've actually got the thing, the scars for giraffes or the book, does it matter? How do you feel? Was it a good experience? Did you enjoy it? And that pain, hurt, or loss, isolation that you had 20 years ago, doesn't matter anymore. Are you still holding on to it? And as I count from 5 back to 1, your body taps into that future self of yours, knows everything always works out, and you return back to the now. 5, 4, 3, 2, feeling refreshed, new, and alive. 2 and 1, and back into the room, back into the now. In 20 years, will this thing matter? The grudge, the hurt, the pain, the loss. Will it really matter? Maybe not. And do you have that thing? Yeah, probably. Sometimes in life, when we are going through a process, a pain, a situation, first acknowledge it, connect with it. Then ask yourself, will this matter in 20 years? Does it really matter? Probably not. So I'm going to get you all to take a big breath in. And breathe all the way out. And take another big breath out. And breathe all the way out. And just in your mind right now, before we go into some sharing, I'm just going to get you to sing to yourself Jingle Bells. But dude, it's not Christmas. I know. I just want you, just in your mind, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun. No, 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 no. Okay, be back. Okay. We're just tricking the mind a little bit just to go, okay, we're back in the now. All is fine. And what we're going to do for those that haven't been here before is we're going to do some sharing. And if you can't unmute yourself, just pop it in the chat and put a Y there, which means yes, I can share it. Of what was your biggest golden heart from today of the lesson? Ask yourself, in 20 years, will this matter? In 20 years, will this matter? Because this question has multiple things that open our mind of, well, in 20 years, will this matter? This pain? No. Do I need to carry on the family, the culture, the country, the traditional pain and whatever, an argument? No. Or in 20 years, will this matter? If I don't look after my health now, yeah, let's do something now. Or in 20 years, will this matter that if I don't write the book, I'll have the pain then and I wish I'd done? So let's go around the Zoom room. If you can unmute yourself and give us a golden heart awareness. Golden heart is like, had an aha moment. This is what I learned. So we'll go Sharon, Andrew, and then Kelly.
Jane.
Good morning.
For me, probably it was about the health and just a reminder to stay on track with what I'm doing. So that was it was like, oh, okay, yep, cool, thank you. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. For me, that's really important. After nursing, pathology, autopsies, and medical intuition, it is whatever and I had this conversation with my husband yesterday. They're very different. His body's playing up and he's in trouble with the doctor. And I had said, well, 20 years ago when I said not to eat and do. So thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, the golden nugget for me is to just remember, like, just to get that perspective that asking that question does, just to remind myself of that time is the little things that I'm worrying about really matter, but are also the little steps that I'm doing for what I want in 20 years' time. Are they matter? Like the little going for a walk in the morning when I don't feel like it, or you know, or putting off something that I really want to do, just writing my next book or something like that. Does it matter in 20 years' time? Well, yes, it does matter. So that makes me more motivated to do the little actions today.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to Kelly.
Good morning, everyone. I'm kind of with Andrew there. It's like when somebody else says to you, does it really matter? Yeah, it does really matter. And so it's more for me about letting others see and hear me, because it makes me true to myself and makes me feel freer.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go, Leona, David, and Ruthie.
Morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, darling.
Oh, beautiful, because I don't know where the speaker is. My golden nugget is what Kelly said, is that the reason for why it matters to you is the freedom.
Beautiful, Leona. Thank you, darling. Amazing. And let's go to Dave. And those who don't have to answer, you can type or
I'm
voice
here.
message, whatever you like.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can, David. Thank you so much.
Well, you made me think, really, in 20 years, what matters? Because most things don't matter. As we grow older, things change very much in our mindset. Everything that I thought 20 years ago is pretty much out of the window. I thought everything was so important, and I find now that most things aren't that important. So thank you very much for bringing it up.
Beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing, David. Let's go to Ruthie.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay? I'm
Yes,
driving.
definitely, Ruthie. Thank you.
Okay. So I can align with what everyone else was saying as well, particularly the bit about that really matters. You want to carry that pain, that story into the future, and how we can use the freedom from the mind and the body by asking that question, does it really matter? Will it really matter? That's my goal.
Beautiful. Ruthie, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome this morning. And if you're watching the replay, please put a comment below so that we all learn. When people share, because it's not about me teaching, in mystery school, we would all share so that we all learn that it is like in 20 years, will this matter? Well, imagine if we apply this, which is fifth dimension, and fifth dimension is total freedom of the mind, that if we apply this as a world, the old stories of this is my country and let's have a war and all that stuff that's happening at the moment and has happened for a long, long time really wouldn't matter. What they would understand of what matters right now is let's work as a whole group community to make everything flourish and be amazing. Because I mentioned, and again, I've forgotten who started Clean Up Australia Day. When we throw that bottle in the sea, the turtles choke and die, and it never breaks down. It's matter in 20, 30, 50, 100 years, etc. But the same with our thoughts, the same with what we say and do, the same with what we react. Will this matter in 20 years? Sometimes it's first I need to acknowledge how I feel, because me personally, I don't want to carry that baggage of pain down the track 20 years down. It's like, really, that doesn't matter at the moment. I need to focus on things that do matter and put my energy and focus on things that I can make a difference. So thank you so, so much for joining the first masterclass. Keep joining me at the same time until daylight savings when we go back an hour to do the masterclasses, and have the bestest week. And remember, your body's just had mini healing as well. So thank you so much, everyone. Bye.